All right, first up we have the Cleveland Browns fan, Cleveland Cavaliers fan, Cleveland Indians fan, Matthew Jerome. And second up, we have Keaton McNary, who's a Patriots fan, Celtics fan, Boston Red Sox fan, and much, much more. Christian Keane.
How y'all doing?
I like all the Cleveland sports, as well as my friend Matthew right here.
How y'all doing today, man? Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. Nice to see you, sir.
See you soon,
sir. Okay, so first up, we're going to have our NFC East predictions for the 2014 NFL season. Now, first up, we're going to have Matthew with predictions, then we're going to have Keaton, and then you guys are going to argue about why your picks should be over your picks. All right, Matthew, here we go.
I have, for number 1, for the NFC East, I have New York Giants going 12-4. Number 2, Washington Redskins going 10-6. 3, Philadelphia Eagles 7-9. 4, Dallas Cowboys 3-13.
I disagree with you on one team. There's no way on earth that the New York Giants are going 12-4 in the division. And let me tell you why. Because they lost a lot of their people on defense. And, a couple years ago, they went 9-7. They were the 6th seed. They went on a crazy run to the Super Bowl. And then they went to Green Bay, beat them 37-20 in Green Bay. And they went to San Francisco and beat the 49ers in the AFC Championship game, 2017 overtime. They beat the Falcons to walk card 24-2, which is an epic embarrassment. And they went on to the Super Bowl and beat my Patriots, which I was really disappointed, 21-17. I just don't think they're not going to be a huge threat in the division this year. And I say that because Eli Manning has been consistent last year, and they started off 0-6 last year, which is the worst start in their franchise history. And they won like 6 or 7 straight after that, and they still made the playoffs. But I still think they're going to be any threat to any of the Washington Redskins. RG3 coming back from the ACL, he'll be much better this year. And even the Philadelphia Eagles.
So Keaton, tell me what is your rankings in the number 1, 2, 3, and 4 position, and tell me the records of all those teams.
All right. In the NFC East, I have number 1. I have the Washington Redskins going 10-6. Number 2 in the division, I have Philadelphia going 8-8. Number 3 in the division, I have the New York Giants going 7-9. Number 4 in the division, I have the Dallas Cowboys, which they suck every year, going 5-11.
So you have the Dallas Cowboys breaking away from always their 500 mark, and you have them going below the 500 mark
Yes.
for next season.
Yes.
And you really think it's going to be RG3's breakout season next year? You think he's going to be a great quarterback?
Yes. I think the Washington Redskins, had a great offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Picked up Deshaun Jackson on a 3-year deal, which is going to be a huge impact for their offense. And mostly the defense, because I think their defense is going to have all the momentum trying to get the offense off the field 4 downs. So it's going to really give them confidence. And Jay Gruden, it's his first year as head coach. I think he's going to have an outstanding year as head coach, just like the Philadelphia head coach. Whatever. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. So I just think the Washington Redskins are going to have a breakout year. RG3, he's going to have the best season of his career. And I think they're going to run away in this division.
I disagree. Because RG3 last year, he got injured. And he's like, I don't know if he's going to be injured again in the same season with another leg injury like he did before.
So your issues with this season is you don't think he could be healthy this year?
He could be until maybe the middle of the year, and he'll possibly be fine. Yeah,
That's a good reason. So are you guys done? Are you going to rest your cases on this, or do you have one final thing to say?
That's pretty much it.
All right, next we're going to move on to the NFC North, and we have Keaton starting off this round.
All right. This is my shocker of the division. Starting number 1, I have Detroit Lions going 11-5. Green Bay, number 2 in the division, going 9-7. Number 3 in the division, I have Minnesota Vikings going 8-8. And then number 4, I have the Chicago Bears going 6-10.
So you have the Detroit Lions. Remember that awful collapse they had late season last year? It took them way out of the playoff race. So you think they're going to leave that behind them to start a fresh season and really improve and take a big step forward this year?
Here's what I want to say about the Detroit Lions. I understand they had an awful season last year. They went 8-8. They should have made the playoffs last year. A lot of those games last year they could have won and just collapsed at the end. They had a lot of finish out games. But I just think the Detroit Lions have too much talent on their offense and defense, including Matthew Stafford, Reggie Bush. They picked up Golden Tate in the offseason from Seattle. They got Donovan Sue on the defense, who's really competitive, I like his feistiness. I mean, I understand last year, or it was 2 years ago, Thanksgiving game at home against Green Bay, he stomped on one of the Packers' the defensive lineman. But I like his feistiness, because he really wants a Super Bowl. And I think Jim Caldwell, first coach of the Detroit Lions, first year as head coach, I think he'll do a fantastic job of getting this team to the playoffs.
I disagree.
Wait, I'm gonna let Keaton finish. I have one more question, then you can get to yours. Why do you have Detroit over Green Bay? A head-to-head battle? What do you think's gonna happen when they do?
Well, Green Bay obviously last year they didn't have last year I didn't like the way they finished the season. I mean, I felt like 8-7-1. I feel like they should have been on the road in the playoffs to San Francisco. San Francisco went 12-4 last year. I didn't like the rule. I mean, that's the NFL rule. If you're second division, you know you're going to be on the road. If you're first, no matter what your record is, you're always going to be home in the first playoff game.
Do you disagree with that?
Yeah, I do. I just felt like San Francisco should have been home because they had a better season last year, plus record-wise, and they had more talent. I just think they should have been home last year.
So Minnesota, they were dead last year in their division, right? Okay, so you have them jumping up to third, which still not making the playoffs though.
Yeah, I mean Minnesota. I mean they picked up Teddy Bridgewater, which I think is good. Which I think is a huge pickup.
Yeah, they do have quarterback
problems. Because Minnesota has a lot. They have quarterback problems. Greg Jennings going there for a 5-year deal. I think that's a huge pickup for them because I think he's the future of this franchise moving forward. Plus Teddy Bridgewater. It's going to take him a couple years to get that experience in, just like all the other rookies like Johnny Manziel, Blake Bortles, and all the other rookie quarterbacks coming in the first season. But I think Minnesota this year, I think they're going to make a little bit of improvement. Not making the playoffs though, but in the next year or two, they're going to make a huge step.
So they're going to be a strong team.
They're going to be a much strong team in the 2015 season. Not this year. They'll improve their record, but they won't make the playoffs.
Agreed. So Matthew, lay out your NFC North standings for us.
I got Green Bay Packers on number 1 at 11-5. Number 2, Minnesota Vikings 9-7. 3, Chicago Bears 7-9, and 4, Detroit Lions 4-12. And the reason why I put the Detroit Lions on the bottom is because they didn't really have a good season last year, and Matthew Stafford, he's a good quarterback. He just he throws the ball in the right spot, but the reason why they probably lost so many games is because there was so many good cornerbacks on the other teams. So this year, because there were so many roster switches with the other teams, some other player that was really good could have gone on one of these other teams and could have made the Green Bay, Minnesota, or Chicago Bears even better than Detroit.
So you guys have basically opposite with your 1 and 4. You guys have theirs flip-flopped. He has Green Bay at number 1. You have Detroit number 1. So tell me why you don't think Detroit will have a good year, and why you think Green Bay is going to have the best year of those two.
Well, I think Green Bay will have a good year because Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback. He has a good confidence of where to throw the ball. He knows where the wide receiver or running back is going to run to throw the ball. But Detroit Lions, even though they have Megatron, they lost some good receivers to injuries and then to free agency. So I don't know how they're going to end up. But that's my prediction.
And also Green Bay, they when Aaron Rodgers wasn't healthy, you saw what they did last year. So the key for me is for Aaron Rodgers to stay healthy throughout the whole season, and the postseason ultimately. So Keaton, do you have any rebuttals?
I have one more prediction about. I'm gonna do the Chicago Bears. Okay. Mike Trestman, he'll be going into his second year as head coach of the Chicago Bears. Most everybody's having him as most improved coach of the year, but I have a lot of questions with this team because Jay Cutler, I felt like he shouldn't have never gotten a 7-year deal. He doesn't. Him or Tony Romo should have never got paid that much money. I think Tony Romo is more overrated than than Jay Cutler. But there's no reason why they should have got paid that much money. Because what have they been doing the last 5 years? They have not made the playoffs. The Chicago Bears have not made the playoffs the last 2 seasons. Tony Romo, I think he's too overrated. I mean, what's he been doing?
Yeah.
I mean, the Cowboys. Let's go back to the. I mean, I'm just going to go back here for a minute. They lost DeMarcus Ware in the defense, which is a huge loss for them because he clogs the middle. He's like a bench wheel for on the Patriots. You lose him, and then you lose Sean Lee on your defense with torn ACL. I mean, they replaced him, but it's not a big replacement. I don't think they're going to be any threat with him gone or DeMarcus Ware because those two guys are huge impacts to your defense. In a lot of games last year, I mean, the Cowboys could have made the playoffs last year if Tony Romo wouldn't got hurt and then everybody else wasn't stepping up. You know, Des Bryant, last year after that huge collapse against Green Bay, they were up 26-3 at half, and then they come out and they just collapse at the end. Des Bryant walking off the field early, crying like a baby, running in the locker room, and all that. I mean, they just had I just think the Cowboys are just not going to be that good this year. No improvement at all.
So one thing for you, Matthew. So you have the Minnesota Vikings going from the bottom of the barrel to jumping up way up to number 2. Why do you think Minnesota's gonna make that?
Well, because they got Teddy Bridgewater. I think he did very, very well with his throwing and his accuracy.
Louisville.
Yeah, back in Louisville. So I think he could help Minnesota get up to the top.
Okay. So there you have it. We got it through 2. We still got 2 more to go, and we will be back after the break, guys.